Hey YouTube, how's it going? I'm back. I want to do another 6 scale action figure review today, and I am doing it on a new camera and microphone setup, so bear with me as it's a bit different than what I'm used to working with, but I think that overall the quality of my reviews should be a lot better because of it. We'll see. Anyways, today I'm going to be taking a look at the ACI Total Rome Roman Optio figure. Now, my appeal to this figure was I played a lot of Rome Total War, and I really wanted to get some sort of Roman figure in for my historical 6 scale collection. Uh, I thought this guy would be great because it comes with the iconic, if not a bit overrepresented in pop culture media, Lyrica segmentata, which I love. I think that's really cool. And it also came with, a couple of different types of the Roman javelins or spears. So, I like variety. I thought it'd be pretty cool. But there are a couple of things that I wasn't prepared for when getting this figure. So, anyways, we're going to jump right into it now. I've got him all fully set up, and that's great. Uh, this is a bit of an older figure, so there were some things that I wasn't quite prepared for, I guess. I'd been spoiled recently with the newer figures that I've been getting from Pop Toys and all that. But you'll notice the intricate lace sandals, and maybe I can take the camera off here and get a close up on them. Yeah, I had to do all those up by hand, and that was time consuming and a pain in the butt. So I'm not going to be getting any more of the ACI Roman figures in if I have to do this for every single one. Um, Huge pain in the butt, and I don't honestly even think that I did the right sandal correctly. But I am absolutely not going to go back in there and try to redo it because, like I said, it was a huge pain. Another couple of issues because it's an older figure. This came out at a time when most 6 scale companies weren't doing very good 6 scale leather, and maybe you can tell in the pictures or the video. I've concealed it pretty well, I guess, but a lot of the leather on the sword strap in particular has started flaking. So right out of the box, a little bit on these guys down here, those little studded pieces, but a lot along the sword belt, especially where it clasps up at the top there. Leather flaking. So immediately I knew this guy was going to be a bit more fragile than I was hoping. But that's something that you just kind of run the risk whenever you get a new 6 scale figure. Some are more fragile than others. Aesthetically, I dig it. I like it quite a bit. Functionality isn't quite there. I'm going to go in for a close-up here now, too. The instructions told me to just run a lace of string underneath these little loops that are inside of the helmet there, and then around to the front and tie it. There was no string included with this guy, so I have a lot of my own string. I like to use this sort of waxy twine stuff. I'm not sure what it's called. I found it in a cupboard. So that's what I ran for this fella here. And it worked good. So the helmet got on there nice and securely. I do like having the options to display him with or without his Optio crest here. So that comes off pretty easily. And now all of a sudden he's more of a typical Legionnaire. You might notice there are some pieces where whatever glue they use to hold the Lyrica segmentata together is already starting to come undone. So I might have to go in there myself and do some fine tuning for a couple of spots. Mostly, right in the front here where that strap came undone. Again, not going to be a huge problem, but it is more effort than I really wanted to put in. I was hoping I'd be able to take this guy out and just take him out of the box, pop him up on the shelf, and he would look great. But he needs some TLC, which is okay. Let's get that to refocus there. And I also had to spend a couple hours working on his sandals. But that's all right. Accessories he comes with are pretty simple. He's got his awesome Roman shield, which is historically accurate. They had those awkward, I think they'd be a bit awkward, horizontal handles instead of vertically. So they would wield them like this and just do quick shoulder raises to block an incoming attack to their head or whatnot, and then retaliate with a quick thrust from their gladio, which he also comes with. The accessories are all nice real wood and die-cast metal, so super light. The handle itself, super light for this piece, and that's really cool. And then a nice, actually quite sharp metal sword. So that looks great. I'm happy with it. Slide that back into the real wood and metal sheath there. Readjust it so it sits like that. And boom, good to go. He also comes with this brown cloak here, which you can tie onto the back of the figure around his neck, and it'll look great and all that. I'm not going to really display it with this though. It's ACI, so their fabric work is good. This feels like it's made out of the same material as Aragorn's cloak was, and it hangs really nicely. But it's not anything that I will be using. And he also comes with this little dagger here, which again is also very nice. However, in the instructions it tells you to undo this belt going around his waist to get the little slippy dagger on there, and I can't do it. I'm not sure if it's just because this thing is such an older figure or what exactly happened there, but maybe the belt is fused to that, or it was never meant to come off in the first place and I just got inadequate instructions. But as it is, I can't really put this dagger on the figure, which is okay. That's going to be something that if I have this guy on full display with his spear, his javelin, and his shield, then you're not really going to know that that's missing. And maybe I can use this dagger in a kit later. I don't know. I probably will. Other than that, he comes with many options for his spear. The first one being this heavy metal rod, and I assume this rod is for a spear if you wanted to do it that way. All of the tops, the spear tops, he comes with two. There's this little one and this much thicker one. Can be put on to the different halves. That's really tight, actually. I don't think I can get that on there. So I've got a big metal stick. That's an accessory that he comes with. No idea what it's for. Then we have two actual wooden ones, both with their points on the bottom there, which is accurate. I know at least for the Greek warriors, they would use these points at the bottom here to mount their spears into the ground to give them some more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not support, leverage. To give them more leverage when resisting charging opponents. But these tops here can slide on like so onto either spearhead. There we go. Pop that on. And then I like this one because it has the metal weight there, which if you were launching a javelin into the air, I would assume that this weight helped it come back down with a lot more force, possibly to pierce armor. But, yep, all the spears look pretty good. Accessories look good. The figure itself looks really good. It's just, I started falling apart just as soon as I got it out of the box. And that includes basically every aspect to the outfit that's made out of leather, or the Lorica segmentata itself, which is the biggest reason I got this figure, because the glue is coming off in between the pieces here and some of the straps there. Now, luckily it's a folding type of armor, so it really isn't hard to quickly rearrange it to have it look good to the eye, but I'd rather just have it be permanently glued and look good all the time without having to worry about mussing it up any further. So anyways, let's get to articulation. The ACI bodies used around this time were hit or miss. I had their Thracian General for quite a while before I traded it to a dear friend of mine for his collection. And the toughest part about that guy was he had really tight shoulders. I'm pleased to say that this guy does not suffer the same issues. His shoulders, they're tight, but they're not tighter than they have to be. So he'll be able to hold some of his heavy accessories, but as you can see, I can still leverage my fingers and move the joints with one hand. This left arm moves just the same, but realistically that they held their shields downward, so not going to need to get too crazy with reposing that shield hand. The legs work great. There's really nothing hindering them. A good double jointed knee bend with a stand. He balances quite well, as you can tell also. Maybe I'll slide this in there and we'll get a quick charging pose. Charge! There. Yeah. That looks pretty cool. Get him to balance. There. Yep. Get him to look at what he's charging at. Sweet. So, yeah, it's a cool figure. It's a functional figure. It's going to need some TLC, depending on the conditions you got it in, if this were a used purchase or even brand new, as mine was, because who knows where this figure has been sitting for the years since it was released, since my getting it into my collection. But yeah, cool figure. If you're into the Roman soldiers, or you're flirting with the idea of building a legion, kind of like I am, it looks great. The Roman Optios, which this guy's based on, were basically second in command to the Centurions. So they were pretty high-ranking members of a legion, which is pretty cool. And normally, if you were an Optio, you were basically being groomed to become a Centurion. You can find all this information on Wikipedia if you're interested in the history of them at all. I was just curious if these actually moved or not, but those are just for show. They're not actually jointed right there. But yeah, that's really going to wrap this review up. It's a cool figure. There's definitely some downsides to it, but nothing that I don't think I'll be able to fix up. Oh, actually, one more thing to note. It does not come with a display stand, and given that this guy has some accessories that are weighty and, not loose legs, but not the tightest or heaviest, he's top heavy. So given that, I would say if you pick this guy up, definitely do not neglect getting a display stand for him. So that's all. I'm going to repose this guy in the simple standing pose that I had him in before with his spear and put him back on the shelf. That's going to conclude today's review. So thanks for watching. Stay happy, stay healthy, and keep on collecting. Bye-bye.